Good morning to all. Dear friends, so far in our last class we saw what is formative evaluation. But at present, today we are going to see what is summative evaluation. Both formative and summative, they are very much essential in educational evaluation, and we understand what is formative and summative evaluation. Definitely it will make a change in our teaching learning process. That's why we are going to see today what is summative evaluation. The name summative evaluation denotes sum, that means total. So what we are doing as a total evaluation after the class or after the session or after the period of instruction is over, that is the whole period of instruction, maybe one semester or 1 year, that is called summative evaluation. So usually the main examination that we conduct at the end of the course, at the end of the semester and at the end of 1 year or 6 months, it is called summative evaluation. So it is the end of the time or end of the unit. So we conduct midterm exam, final reports and term papers and teacher diagnosed test, standardized test, high stakes test, isn't it? Some competitive examination like NEET, CAT, they are called high stakes test. So all these examinations we are conducting in order to know what is the sum total of the achievement in a particular subject of a particular student. That's why we are conducting this summative assessment. So summative assessment, normally it is done during the semester examinations, sometimes during the midterm examination, and we evaluate the projects in research papers like term papers, and it is conducted by the teachers because the teachers will design the test, and sometimes we get the question papers from the agencies and we conduct. It is called standardized test. So all these are summative assessment. Why we are conducting this summative assessment? Because to know the performance of the candidate and what he has learned in total and what is good for him, what is working and what is not working. So it is designed to measure the student's performance, and already we have fixed certain goals or criteria to compare the student's assessment with that criteria. So we have fixed the learning standards. For example, if a student gets 40%, he is set to pass, and if he gets more than 60, he is in first class. If he gets more than 75, he passed with distinction. Like that we fix certain criteria, and we want to know how our students are performing at the end of the course, and we will compare his performance and with the already fixed criteria, and we will say, okay, how many students have got first class, how many students have got passed marks, and how many of them have got fail marks. Like that we will compare the students' performance with the fixed standard. So this is why we are conducting the summative assessment. While in formative assessment, we are assessing the students' performance during the course, during the classes, and during one particular program is going on without completion of the program. So in the meantime, we appraise the students' learning during the program, whereas summative assessment we conduct at the end of the program or end of the certain units or specific point of time like 6 months or 1 year. So we would like to compare the students' knowledge with some fixed standards, and not only that, summative assessment help us to know the mastery of the learning, that is how he has learned 5 units of a program or 5 units of a particular course, or how he performs after going through the whole period of time Likewise, we would like to know. Whereas formative assessment, just we would like to conduct whether the student is progressing or not, whether something is going wrong or not, or something is helping the student, or what the problems are problems are faced by the students. Like that, we would like to help our students. That's why we would like to conduct formative assessment. So formative assessment during the program, whereas summative assessment after the program. That's why there is this is the difference between formative and summative assessment in general. And summative assessment we conduct after the whole instruction process is over, and it helps us, it is also helping us a diagnostic tool how our students are performing at the end of the course. But it does not provide any remedial measure. Suppose if the student fails in the examination, then he has to go through again in the program and he has to pass. Whereas the formative assessment is helping the teacher to give remedial instruction or remedial teaching. So if he is not performing well, the teacher can give remedial teaching then and there itself, isn't it? We need not wait for the whole year or whole semester is over. So the formative assessment is more helpful to the students because it helps the students to know better. And the summative assessment provides some valuable information to the educators, whether this program is good, whether the program meets the standards of the students, whether the program is suitable to the students. Likewise, the summative assessment helps the educators to determine the effectiveness of the program, and it is also helpful to evaluate the interventions also. Sometimes we will teach something new aspects, we will adopt some new innovative strategies. Likewise, we would like to know how this innovation or new aspects or something that the teacher is trying is working or not. So summative instruction, summative evaluation helps to improve the overall instruction, because in formative instruction also we will get the feedback how the classes is going on. In summative evaluation also we will get the feedback to know the effectiveness of the whole program. Then there are two forms of summative assessment. Generally in schools and colleges we have examinations, isn't it? We have examinations and the teacher will construct the question paper, and sometimes the question paper will be from the standardized institutions like CBSE, or we have national level of testing agency. Like that, we have some standardized systematic examinations. So there are two forms of summative assessment. The one is teacher made test or the teacher constructed assessment, because the questions what the students are performing or not, the question paper will be constructed by the teacher. So this is the most common form of assessment. Each and every teacher will do this in her classroom and at the end of the course. So this is done. If it is done during the course, it is called a formative assessment. When the teacher construct a question paper during the course, that is called formative. Whereas in the midterm examinations or semester examination or quarterly or half-yearly examinations, first term, second term, third term, like that, that is called summative assessment. So the teacher constructs the questions here and it will give some objective data to know how the students are performing or not. So most probably the standardized assessments are designed to overcome many aspects. That is, when the teacher constructs the question, there are some limitations in that. One teacher will construct in one way, whereas the another teacher, she will conduct or he will construct the question in a different way. Likewise, there is some bias, there are some differences in the standard of the question paper. So the teacher constructed question papers will have its own limitations, whereas the standardized assessment means the experts will construct the question paper, and the limitations will be again and again it will be overcome, and it will be refined to meet the standards. That's why always the standardized assessment is better. So informal assessment means the question paper constructed by the teacher have some limitations, and it is called informal assessment. And we have to check each and every question paper against three types of validity. There are many criteria when we want to test the standardization of a achievement test or standardization of a question paper. What we are doing, generally we construct the question paper and we will conduct the examination and we will get the answer sheets. But when a question paper is constructed, we have to see many important aspects for standardization. They are validity, reliability and feasibility. These three are very, very important to standardize a question paper. So in validity we have three types of validity. Whether the question paper constructed properly or not, that is called construct validity. When the question paper meets many criteria to whom it is constructed, what is the difficulty level, what is the difficulty index, what is the discrimination index, like that many criteria are there. According to item analysis, we have to analyze each and every item in the question paper and we have to see. So that is called criterion validity. And the third one is content validity. For example, the content of the question paper, whether it meets the according to the level, according to the syllabus, according to the age limit, like that the content we have to verify whether the content is suitable to our students, the particular students who are writing the examination or not. So we have to consider all the three types of validity. So a question paper setter, he has to consider all those things. But in everyday classrooms, the teachers who are constructing the question paper, they are not seeing that. Simply they will construct, they will write the questions, they will write the items and they will hand over it. So there are some limitations in the informal way or teacher made test. Whereas in standard testing, that is the second category of standard summative evaluation, the experts will construct the question paper, isn't it? And many experts will go through the items, each and every item, then they will verify and they will see whether all the questions are valid, all the questions are reliable, all the questions are constructed according to the level of the students, then they will construct the question paper. So that is called standardized testing. That is the three criteria of standardization, that is reliability, validity and feasibility. Whether practically it is possible to conduct the test or not. Practically is it possible to administer the question paper to our students, that is called feasibility of the test. So all these things will be checked again and again, then only the question paper will be released for the examination during the exam. So this is called standardized testing. Whereas in very important examinations like competitive examination, many examinations nowadays they are conducted, though these competitive examinations are called high stakes decision or high stakes question papers like NEET, like CAT, like public examinations. Here the question papers will be standardized and it will be scrutinized and more care will be taken, and the experts will examine each and every aspect of the questions. So these are coming under standardized testing, which is the second aspect of the summative evaluation. So nowadays students are taking many standardized examinations because they are opting for employment. Whenever there is an employment or whenever there are some professional courses, they will conduct these standardized examinations. So this standardized assessment is very, very important in a student's life because it is very easy to go through or get through this teacher made test. Whereas when the competitive examinations are coming, then the students have to be committed and they have to be well versed, and it will test the mastery of their learning. So standardized assessment is very much familiar today, and our goal should be, the educator's goal should be to make our students to get through in the standardized test, that is in the form of competitive examinations. They will score more marks in the school examinations and school test, whereas when it comes to common entrance test and all, our students will feel more difficult to pass. So they are not practicing this standardized assessment in the school itself. So formative assessment, it is a helping a student to get through during the course, that is the program is going on, whereas the summative assessment is helpful to go to the next stage. Suppose a student pass the 10th standard examination, then he is going to 11th and 12th higher secondary courses. So the summative assessment is conducted to know the students' performance against some fixed standards or to pass to the next level. So both this test, both the formative and summative, they are helpful in education, but for these two assessments there will not be any decision taken by the educators. So it is helping a teacher to make professional judgment, and it is helping the educators to make high stakes decision whether this particular student is eligible to go for particular profession. That is, when we want to go to employment in as a teacher, as a professor, as a lecturer, then we have to take different examination, that is TET, NET, SET, like that. When a student wants to become a doctor, then he has to take some other examination, like that. According to the profession, there are many standardized assessments are there. So to make high stakes decisions, high level decision whether a particular student is capable of entering into a profession, particular profession, then we will conduct this test. So these two, both formative and summative, they are helping as a tool to decide, for decision making. So but for this there is no improvement in the level of the students, but for test and examination we could not know what is the performance of a student. So to improve the quality of education, this assessment is very, very important. Then there are certain common aspects in formative as well as summative assessment, which is shown in the portion, that is in the dark color, and whereas the blue color denotes the qualities of summative assessment, criteria of summative assessment alone. The orange portion also denotes the criteria or principles of formative assessment alone. And what is this criteria? We already discussed. And for example, if you take both the formative and summative, the goal is to improve the educational standard, that is to improve the quality of learning and teaching. So this is the common aspect between formative and summative evaluation, whereas there are some differences between formative and summative evaluation. The first one is goal, the objective. Why we conduct formative evaluation? To improve the teaching learning process. Why we conduct summative examinations or summative assessment? To prove the performance of the student. So both have different goals. Then purpose, this is for enhancing the learning, formative assessment, and summative assessment is to to make judgments regarding the student's performance, isn't it? After conducting the main examination, after conducting the semester examination, we will judge whether the student is capable of going to next class or not, whether the student is capable of entering into particular profession or not. Like that we will make some judgments. So summative evaluation will make judgments about students' performance, and when this formative evaluation is taking place during the instruction. One class is over, before going to next classes, the teacher will conduct some evaluation, that is called formative evaluation. Whereas summative, after the whole instruction for a particular period is over, say for 1 month, 2 months, like that, at the end, midterm examination, quarterly examination or semester examination, we will conduct after the instruction is over. And the frequency, when we conduct formative evaluation, then and there, whenever the teacher wants to know how the students are doing, then and there, the teacher is free to assess the students in a small test or questioning or getting feedback, like that. Whenever he wants, the teacher will conduct the test. So even daily they can conduct formative evaluation. Whereas summative evaluation, there is a fixed time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, like that. There is fixed time is given at the end of the period to know what is the mastery level of the students. Likewise, in the role also, the teacher can conduct, make some decision, and they can monitor the instruction during the formative evaluation. Whereas summative evaluation, the teacher can judge the students' performance as a whole. Then the grades, marks, scores will be given. Then they will be permitted to enter into the next stage of his education. Likewise, in the goals, in the characteristics, there is some difference between, there is some important difference between summative and formative assessments. That is very important for a teacher. Unless we know these things, how do we judge our students' performance? Without judging or without helping our students to learn better, we cannot become a effective teacher. So we must understand this as a teacher and as a teacher educator. So in a nutshell, I can say summative assessment is assessment of learning at the end, and formative assessment is helping the students for learning, that is assessment for learning. So in one sentence we can say like this: formative assessment, we are helping our students learning to learn, isn't it? How to learn, how to improve, what are their problems, how to help our students, how to change our teaching strategies, how to modify our teaching methods, like that. Formative assessment is for learning, and summative assessment at the end is assessment of learning after a unit, after a program, after a fixed time. So this is the major difference. So my dear friends, we have seen what is formative assessment, what is summative assessment, what are the criteria for formative and summative assessment, what is the difference between formative and summative assessments, and how a teacher can become an expert in teaching learning and help the teacher. That we can know from this by knowing formative as well as summative assessment.